I just found out that I'll be co-starring in my friend's thesis project film with the world's creepiest man, who decided to touch me, ask me disgusting questions, and follow me to my car after our failed date, if you can even call it that. Basically, my friend, Tom, 26M, is making a student film for his thesis project. This is an extremely important project for him and will determine if he graduates, so he's already stressing out about it. I, 24F, helped him write the script, writing major, and then he asked me if I would act in it. He said it would mean a lot to him, and I've acted in a few different plays and another student film that won some awards before, so I agreed. He was seriously so thankful and thrilled and admitted he'd written the role of the female lead with me in mind. Great. I asked him early on who he had in mind for the other actors, but he listed off names that I didn't personally know. Now we're ready to start filming. Tom's gotten all of the equipment and scouted out locations we need. I just found out that he's secured this guy, Brad, 25, as the male lead of the film. Brad and I have a slight history. I went on one date with him, from a dating app, about 10 months ago. I didn't know he had any connection to Tom. To put it bluntly, Brad was really weird. I immediately felt like there was something off about him. He was pushy, aggressive, and did not respect the boundaries of going on a date with a stranger at all. He kept staring at me with this empty, almost angry look in his eyes. He kept putting his hand on my knee or thigh under the table, even when I moved away. He talked about the weirdest stuff, how he had never cracked a non-white girl before, wondering if our areas are tighter, asking me if I'm into giving oral, talking about how he'd recently hunted a deer and as a joke left its heart on his vegetarian friend's doorstep. I actually legitimately thought it was a prank / a what would you do TV situation, but the cameras never showed up. After lunch was over, I stood up and said I had to go, and he kept trying to negate my excuse. I said I had a doctor's appointment, and he kept saying that I could reschedule it and that it's easy to just skip appointments because there are no consequences. He followed me out into the parking lot and grabbed my elbow and tried to steer me towards his car so we could go on a drive. I finally hit my breaking point and turned to him and said, "Dude, I don't know if you know this, but you come off as really disrespectful and rude. Don't touch a chick if you don't know her. People are going to think you're a creep. I'm going to my appointment. Let me go." He let me go in silence and I drove off, blocked him, and moved on with my life. Until I just found out that Tom has gotten the same Brad to act in his film. Not only that, he's the lead. If the script stays the way it is, I might have to act as his love interest. I absolutely do not want this, and the very thought of even being in the same room as that guy makes me kind of nauseous. How do I tell Tom? I don't want to be that diva who gives ultimatums or refuses to work with others, and this film is extremely important to Tom's future. He's my friend and I don't want to let him down or leave him in the lurch. Finding another actress could be really difficult for him at this point. But I'm pretty sure I absolutely cannot work with that creep Brad. Is it really okay to force Tom to choose between the two of us? Or should I just bow out? Commenter. It's not forcing Tom to do anything. You simply say, "Hey, sorry, I recently found out that this creepy guy I went on a date with is the principal actor. I don't want to force you to choose between the two of us or begin the arduous process of finding a replacement this late in the game, but I can't work with that guy. What do we do?" It's not mean or rude to state your deal breakers. Working with a guy that makes you uncomfortable is a deal breaker to you working on the project. Tell Tom. It's then up to him to decide how to deal with your decision. Commenter 2. I would also add, if this was just a simple personality conflict, I wouldn't be bothering you with this. He groped me repeatedly while making racist sexual comments all through our date. I tried to leave early and he followed me out to the parking lot and tried to physically restrain me from getting to my car. Update. I know I seemed like a doormat for asking what to do, but I really didn't want to screw my friend over and also didn't know if putting up with unpleasant co-actors was just a part of being a professional. I keep seeing stories about Katherine Heigl being horrible to work with on set and never getting along with other actors, and that's why everybody hates her. Haha. Thank you to everyone who told me to talk to Tom and share my concerns. I agree that he should have tested the leads before casting them, but to be fair to him, everyone's schedules have been crazy this semester and I was out of town last week, so I think that's why he just went ahead and hired Brad. Anyway, after my post I decided to meet Tom for dinner. He asked me how I've been and I kind of clumsily launched into a story about this date I had with this guy, Brad, without saying it was Brad. Tom was really sympathetic and was saying things like, "Holy crap dude, that guy's a creep. I'm glad nothing happened to you, what a jerk, I'm glad you're safe, I feel like I'd fight him or something if I could." I felt kind of sneaky about doing it this way, but people's suggestions to lead off with the story without saying the name seemed effective. At that point, I told Tom that the person I was actually talking about was Brad, and that when I found out, I felt really awkward and wasn't sure how to tell Tom, but I hoped he could see why I wouldn't want to work with that guy. I said I really wanted to be a part of Tom's project, but I didn't know what to do and wanted him to have all the facts. I said I'd go along with any decision he made. It kind of blew his mind that I was really talking about Brad, and he took a little while to process it. I asked him how he knew Brad, and he said that he was just a classmate that he'd worked on a project with earlier this year. They weren't amazing friends or anything. He seemed to brood over the info for a while, and I didn't really know what to say, so we just ate in silence for a bit. Finally, Tom said matter-of-factly, "Okay, thanks for telling me. Do you know of anybody we can replace him with?" I was surprised, and he was surprised I was surprised. He said, "That guy's a jerk. I'm not going to work with him if he treated you that way. We'll find someone else." I was so happy and grateful that I started tearing up a bit. It's not that important to me to work on Tom's film, but it was just so nice to hear that he had my back with no reservations or hesitation. He was kind of bemused that I thought he would want to keep Brad over me, haha. So, as of this morning, Tom has informed Brad that he's no longer on the project and he's talking to a few different people he knows as replacements. We are going to do auditions to see who has good chemistry, as others have suggested. He's stressed out about finding somebody, but he said it's good that I told him now and not after we started shooting, so thank you again to everyone for telling me to tell him ASAP. I'm not sure how I feel about how Tom did it. The firing, he just texted Brad and said something like, "Sorry, but this isn't going to work out, we don't need you for the role anymore." I'm not sure if Brad should have been informed of the reason why we didn't want to work with him. I almost feel like he should know he's a creep and that his behavior has consequences, but Tom said he was worried that Brad would blame me and that he didn't need an explanation for being let go. I see his point, and he's director, so it doesn't really matter, since Brad is now gone. Yay. I've blocked Brad's number and his Facebook because I feel like he would try to contact me after this. I know he kind of went with the fudge, bro, and asked Tom something about me, but Tom didn't answer and he didn't really specifically say how Brad reacted when he got fired. He literally said, "Don't worry about it" to me when I asked. I did notice that Brad looked at my LinkedIn sometime today, but that's about it. Thanks again everyone for your advice. I'm over the moon at how this turned out and I'm looking forward to filming this summer. Commenter: I'm wondering if Brad got in on the project because he knew Op would be the lead. Op, definitely be careful. If Tom had given Brad a filming schedule before you spoke with him, try to make sure you aren't leaving any of the sites late at night or alone. It doesn't hurt to be a little extra cautious. But anyways, Tom is awesome, and I hope you have a good time filming / getting to know new people who hopefully aren't creeps. Commenter 2. I like Tom. Tom is a good friend. I want a Tom. Great decision. I liked how you did it a subtle way. I hope the filming goes well, seems like it'll be a lot of fun.